Thank you, Oblivion Drums. Yeah, I was muted. Yeah, the tech issues I've been having have thrown me for a loop this morning. But anyway, like I was saying, I just want to set isMapGen disabled and the script flags just like most of the other script options. That's how the script can tell if map generation calls are valid at this time. Okay, glad to hear that you can hear me now. Yeah, thanks again for letting me know. Okay, and then here, yeah, make sure that it's not out of bounds. Okay, and then we get the hex position of this block, and again, since Lua arrays start at 1 instead of 0, we need to subtract 1 by everything here to get the index and the game space. Okay, so now this get block just creates a new one, I guess, but we actually don't need to do that anymore. Okay, so let's see, int block index is the hex position, and then we'll just call our trusty to-board index, which will convert this 3D position to an index on the board. It's easier to keep track of everything that way. Oh, it's actually in the battle. There we go. Okay, so here, if the Lua block doesn't exist yet, we just need to create a new one. I'm not sure what it wants as values in here. I guess I could just pass the game link and then it could figure everything out itself. Probably it would need this board generation class as well. Well, really it's just gonna store information, so might not need anything else besides its hexagon position for now. We'll come back to that. Okay, and then it just returns it to the Lua script. And since this is temporary to the map generation script that's running, I don't feel like I need to store this in the Lua object registry, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so right now I just have a prototype name. I guess the question is, do I want to pass or require a prototype object? Because I have this block prototype object. Okay, I'm just seeing, so you can get it from here, and the registry has this get block prototype, but I'm not sure if there's any way for scripts to get a certain prototype without yeah, without having a certain block that's already been set on. Alright, but I think I will just use that instead of the name, so that way we won't have to worry about strings not being unique. Alright, and then what validation do I need to do here, if any? I guess I need to make sure that the prototype isn't null. Or if it is... Well, we could be given like an empty... Well, no, the null prototype. Yeah, no null prototypes, I think. So if value equals null... I was going to say, if we set a block to be just empty, there's actually a prototype for that, so there's no reason to use a null value here. Row new script runtime exception. Cannot set prototype to nil. And again, nil is just what Lua calls null. It's the same idea. Okay, so I do need the registry so I can return the board position here. Alright, another reason actually that I need the game link is because I need to also check if map generation is enabled for all these functions. I didn't think about that. So, let me see. I think I can just pull this. So registry, then we'll get the board position for this hexagon. Okay, and then I created these functions, but they're not actually implemented yet because we don't actually do any stats for blocks. I should probably add that in my to-do list. Yeah. Effect, block, stats. Stats and map generation. And then actually I just need like... I guess, okay, mechanics. Stats in general aren't implemented yet. This would be like if you wanted to set a grass block to be on fire, you would give it a stat of, I don't know, heat or something. And then other game mechanics could implement with that, or not implement, interact with that. I think I'll just go ahead and delete these functions for now, because no reason to have them there if they're not supported. Okay, what else do I need to do here? Okay, this is the actual block prototype, so this is all fine. I just need to have a way to get a block prototype from a name. Let me see. What would be the right class to do that in? I have like the position utilities. I guess I should have a way that you can like access the database from Lua, which I don't have anything like that. I have this battle state, which gives you information about the current state of the battle. You can get monsters and blocks, but I don't have anything for the database. So I guess I need to add that. Let's name it something else now that I think about it, because it's going to interfere with the game data state in this data namespace. I think I'll just call it the database. Okay, so for anything that we want to work with Lua, we need to tag it with Moonsharp user data, so that way Moonsharp, which is our Lua interpreter, knows that this class can be passed to and from Lua. And then I want to hide the default constructor so that Lua can't create new instances of this class, and in order to do that, you just manually type it out here and then add this Moonsharp hidden. And I'll always throw a not supported exception because I don't want the rest of the game code to call that constructor either. So this would be the constructor that should actually be used. And it will need the game link. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Don't need that equals sign there. Alright, and so for now I'll just have public get block. Oh wait. I need the return type first, and get block prototype. Okay, so I think the Lua object registry has a way to get these prototype objects, but only by ID. So yeah, so I need to loop through the database myself to find a prototype with this name, and then I can call this function. Oh no, I need to do just a for loop because I need to have the index. Alright, so if link database block prototypes I.name is that, and then I want to make sure that this is not case sensitive, so at this very beginning I should just call to upper invariant. And here this has already been stored to be upper invariant as well, so I don't need to call this function on that string. Okay, so if this is true, then I can call, or I can just return link registry, get block prototype for this index. Okay, so if it makes it through this whole for loop and doesn't find anything, then I should throw a script runtime exception. No block prototype exists with name. I need a string format for that. Oh, and actually, yeah, this would throw an error if, did I misspell this? Oh, I forgot the new keyword. There we go. So right here it would throw an error if name was null, so I need to have a check for that up here. So null, I guess I'll just say empty string passed to get block prototype. And again, it's pretty important that any function in here that can be directly called from Lua, that we do everything we can to help or to keep an actual exception from being thrown that would halt the game. So that's why, yeah, we need to try to catch all possibilities and then just throw a script runtime exception explaining what's going on. Okay, so this is good. I need to insert this into Lua now. And I always forget what class does that. I guess one way to do it would be to find another Lua class and see where it's created. Oh, well, right there, that's not much help. Okay, no, this doesn't have the... I was gonna say I should probably name it something like Lua database to keep it separate from the game's database, but the Lua object registry does not store that, so it's okay. I want to create a accessor for that. Okay, so the asset organizer does all this. That's probably a good spot for it. Okay, so now all these things are inserted into the Lua namespace. So if I go back to our script... Okay, so yeah, I still use names here, so since I want to transition these prototypes to use the prototype objects... can... I mean, using the name is also kind of nice, but... I guess if I really wanted, I could have another thing that's like prototype name that would automatically get the prototype for me, but... Another easy way is also just to say database, get block prototype dirt. So I'm not really sure what would be simpler. Okay, so then here I need to figure out what class should hold this function. I guess it could be... Okay, well the problem is this is not running on the actual board, it's running on what we've generated, so I guess it would be in this board generation class. Oh yeah, I need to do random. The random system, as I was explaining last time, is actually more complicated than you'd think, because I need to make it seeded so that every time you run this script from a save file, it will return the same sequence, so we'll always get the same map. But at the same time, it has to be different every time we create a new map. That makes sense. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of programming to deal with that. So I might... Yeah, I think we should just not do random just yet and test out the map doodads, and we can figure out random calls in the Lua script. Yeah, that should definitely be in the beta 1 and not some other later thing. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, just random in general. Okay, so I did that, but it's not completely done. Oh, I'm working on this, actually. Oh yeah, this is asynchronous exceptions. Let's just... Map, gen, script, async support. That's what I'm doing right now. Did the music stop? Oh no, this... Oh, okay, this is a very quiet song. Alright, so let's just always say that there's one doodad for every block. And then this world position, random in hex, will now just return 0, 0. But at some point when I implement this to actually be random, we can do something better. Okay, so now I need to create this map doodads thing, which will create the function. But let's comment this out for now and see if I can actually get the map generation script to run with the asynchronous Lua scripts. I think there's still a little bit more I need to do. Okay, so I don't need to create this here anymore. That should just be created in with the other global Lua objects. I don't think I have that yet here, so let's go and add another function in here. Or not function, object. Oh, is that not even in the Lua interface? Oh, I call it board generation. That's a little confusing because here... Oh, it is board generation. I just had it different in the other thing. I don't know. Well, usually I... Okay, well I guess this is fine because I try to have a distinction between the board and the map, where a map is like a specific starting state of the board, and the board is what the blocks and monsters actually walk around on, but... So I guess I should try to stick with that. Okay, I want to take away the setter because that's not needed here. Okay, so that is taken care of. Okay, so now we're going to start creating the board. I'd kind of like to move some of these functions out of here into a separate class, but I think I'll wait until I am going to come in. Well, until the new Unity version comes out so I can rewrite this with the entity component system. So for now, do I need to... So I can get rid of that. I don't really need to pass anything because it can get the Lua's object itself. Okay, so Lua interface, board gen. I'll just call this the Lua board. But not new. Database. Yeah, database Lua. Object registry. Board gen. Okay, and probably after this I should clear this object so that all this data doesn't stay around when it's not needed. And even Lua should be able to clear the board, I guess. So what would happen when I do this? Probably, I guess I just clear this hash, and that will be okay. And then I need to reset the dimensions to 0, 0, 0. Okay, no problems there. So I'll need to, at the end of this function, so the Lua board clear. Alright, so here we create a new board object. I figure out the map size. I think I can just replace this builder with the Lua board object. Okay, so this is a prototype name map, but I don't actually need to do this anymore because now that these blocks already have the prototype IDs. I guess I should make sure, does the block prototype have its data index? Yeah, it does right here. But I can't grab it out of this yet. So what I want to do, like, Lua doesn't need to know about this data index because for Lua everything is handled with the names, so I can just hide this. And I guess I need to be able to access the block dictionary. But again, this will not be visible inside Lua. Let's move this up. Okay, so I don't need the prototype name map. And here it's just setting everything to 0. I mean, I guess that's not really needed because it is 0 by default, but just to be safe. Oops, I thought that Lua board was still in my copy. Okay, and I'll rename this to L block just again to make clear that this is the Lua object. Okay, and now the position's actually in indexes. So this should be int index. I don't have to check that anymore. And I already have the block index, so I guess I'll just copy that. I don't have to do this anymore. Okay, and the map, just to save memory, and also since I think you could still have like I can't think of it off the top of my head, but you could still have like multiple thousand block prototypes, which should be way more than we'll ever need. I just store prototype IDs as a unsigned short. But I think oops, I can't type. Yeah, the data index is actually an integer here, so we have to cast it. I don't need the parentheses like right there. Okay, and then this is just printing stuff out, but I don't really care about that. Okay, so the changes I made to use the block prototype objects really simplified this script. And also that we do error checking immediately doing map generation, I think helps with that. Okay, and then this verify hash is just to send to the server so that all clients can make sure that they have the same map. all it really does is just kind of take the string representation of this index and it appends it all together and then makes a hash out of that. Alright, so I think everything should run now. And hopefully when I press play, the game will just generate the same map that we had yesterday. Okay, there was an error. Exposition to board index. Okay, it's during the board generation. Probably the... Oh, the board is null, of course, because the board hasn't been created yet. Let me see. So, interface, get block. Okay, so it's in the in moon sharp. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. Where is it? Get block. Okay, yeah, so we can't use... Oops, sorry for knocking that. Yeah, we can't use to board index because the board is null right now. But really all it's doing is just using the layer size and the row size. So we could calculate that ourselves. By just passing that in right now. So number of columns, number of rows. So the layer size is just number of columns times number of rows, so. And then the row size is the number of columns. Why is it not like that? Oh, I need to capitalize that. And also spell out column. Okay, so that should take care of that. I need to be... We'll see as needed, but a lot of scripts assume that the board exists, so I'll need to check to make sure that we're not in map generation phase for a few other scripts. Okay, but at least now terrain is generated and we're good to go. To add some doodads, I think. I don't see... Yeah, it looks exactly the same as before, so... Okay, that's good to see. So now... We do have very rudimentary mapgen asynchronous support. So now I need to handle these asynchronous exceptions. I should... What would actually happen? I just have some gibberish there. Actually, I don't think Lua would would throw an error for this, so I need to do something like that, and then it'll say that I'm trying to index a null value. Okay. So it just goes forever because nothing ever handles the asynchronous exception. It's interesting. Oh, I misspelled that map generation function. That even though there was an error, it doesn't like throw out the function. I guess that's not normally an issue because if there's an error in a script, the game would just clear everything. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go and try to fix that right now. Because, yeah, it's not an error, or not a problem. Okay, so what I need to do is just have something that handles this. What is it? Yeah, this async exception. So, error message sender. Maybe I could just have this also subscribe to that, the async error. Okay, so on Lua error, we'll just generate a method. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be a bit messy, but as I said before, I don't want to do too much work because I'm going to be converting all these scripts to use the entity component system soon. I'm confused though. I guess this get message is never used, is it? Oh no, it is right there. Okay, it's just a little roundabout. So I guess on Lua error, I should just call on local error, but translate this into a mapgen exception. Okay, so on local error, new mapgen exception. And right now these use strings instead of an enumeration. Okay. Map generation, Lua exception. And I'll have the type and the message. Okay, so I think it's as simple as that. The reason that I have to do it that way is because the Lua the Lua asynchronous caller runs in both the map generation and the play phase, and they have different exception types. Okay, yeah, so it does work, except we get this error because, yeah, it's kind of broken right now, but it's been like that for a while. But at least we get this runtime exception. Attempt to index a nil value at 33. Yeah, it's right there. So I guess while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and move this to the play exception as well. Yeah, error. Okay, now this handles receiving an error from the server. Yeah, this is what I want to copy. Wait, what is this doing? It's sending something? Oh, I see. It's a bit more sophisticated than the other one. Oh yeah, because the flow manager, if it receives an error, does a bit more. Okay, I guess it's the same as this notify error. This looks a bit different. Okay, and then I just need to change this to a play exception. And I think I already have entries for some of this. Is this used anywhere? Okay, stat sheet detection. I guess I should just have a new thing. Lua async call exception. Okay, we'll still do a format. Play exception dot type. And then for the message, we'll just add together the exception type and the exception message. Okay, yeah, let's not name it the same. Okay, so this I think is gonna work just like the map exception. I'll need to test it later. I don't know, why not now? Let me see, so... where's the on new turn script? Okay, yeah, so on new turn, let's just do the same type of thing, just gibberish and try to set a value. And that will throw an error and we'll make sure that it still works. Did I get rid of the gibberish in the map generation? Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's still fine. Lua async call exception. It gives me that. So yeah, it works as intended. Good. Alright, so now I can click on those things. Yeah, so this I'll wait because I don't need it right now. And I want to get to doing some actual terrain art instead of scripting all day. Okay, so now we're ready to start spawning the terrain doodads, I think. Okay, well I guess instead of like complicating things by having this surface block of prototype, let's just try to spawn one doodad on one specific block. One thing I forgot to do here is the pebble needs its parent block. Which I guess I shouldn't pass a specific block because it has to be based on the position because this get block is not permanent. Okay, well we can just do something like block dot position. That should be fine. Or I could just have it have like multiple possibilities for here. We could have a normal play phase block or board gen block or a block position. I guess it, if I ever want to, I can update it to work like that. But anyway, I want to just create one right now. And we'll have the the model's name here. And then the position would be position, utils, create board position. Let's just have it to forget. I don't want to have it the same place as the player monster, but I don't want to have it on a hill either. I think this will be okay. Okay, and then pebble dot position offset will just set to okay, I don't have a well, I have that world position actually, so okay, and this will just be 0, 0, 0. And then I also should have a rotation, which I don't have any way to deal with rotations yet, except around the y-axis. Yeah, so I need to have some idea of a rotation quaternion for Lua. Okay, so let's see some idea of 3D rotations. We'll need this for the camera as well. And then add support to doodads. Alright, so now I need to make this map doodads class and then the specific class for a specific doodad. Excuse me. Or at least I had time to mute that time. Alright. Okay, so we'll just create another Lua interface object here. Yeah, we're starting to get a pretty big collection of scripts in here. I don't know. I tend to like overanalyze how I organize scripts and namespaces, so I've been trying not to do that so much. But now I'm starting to kind of want to break this up. Okay, so again, this will be another Lua class, so I need to, well, I guess it doesn't need to be public. But I need to have it tagged as a Moonsharp user data. And hide the constructors like always. Oops. Not supported exception. Okay, and then the real constructor. I'll just pass it the game link because it's going to need at least the registry. And somehow to tell the game that it wants to create a map doodad. Okay, Okay, so I definitely want to have... Let's see, let's just have the actual map doodad class in here as well. I don't really think it needs to be separated out. And then I guess we'll need to have it in the data index here. Oh hey Ice Boy, glad you can make it back. Okay, so public map doodad create, and we'll pass in I guess I don't know, how do I want to store this? I guess I'll just call it doodad name. I'll need to figure out how this is compiled from the table of contents actually. And then not a string, it's the board position. So I can't really think of... Well, I mean, I guess that sometimes you want to be able to create new map doodads, but at the same time, well, I don't know. Sometimes you won't want to, so I guess I should add a flag. And it's not like... I think we can have 32 different flags and we only have like 6 so far, so it's not like we're running out. What is it? Script state? Allow doodad creation. Because I could think of like during well, there are some scripts that you want to have like a very specific use for. But I mean, even if they did create a doodad during that, it'd be kind of silly, but it's not like it would break the game. Oh yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I'll... There's no reason to try and control the mod authors unless there's actually some issue that could ruin the integrity of the game, but I mean, creating these little objects, they don't have any gameplay use. Guess we might have slightly different code if it's during map generation or what. Maybe the script. Script state could help with that. Because it doesn't really know like what phase the game is in yet, does it? I could see we having some other helper functions in here, like, I don't know, public boolean and map generation phase, and then play phase and team build. Those are basically the 3 times that Lua scripts would be called. So how would this know that? I think, do I have like a game state? I don't think so. Do I really not? I thought that I had set one up. Guess not. So the way that you would be able to tell is like what kind of controller is controlling the game right now. Okay, well I know, I'll just set up a global state for now. Or I guess global phase. Do I really not have that? Because yeah, the server does, but I don't think the game, the client does. Okay, yeah, I guess not. So we'll have, let's call it the game, I guess game phase. It'll just be a simple enumeration. Just like I've done the other phase managers before. And I guess we'll just have lobby. Or no, I like to start as none for 0. Oh, there's more than this. There's like, I don't know, title, lobby, looby, loading, map generation, team building, play, and I don't know, results. Okay, and then the script state would just get a handle on that component. So variable subscription. Game components, and this is another thing that we won't need when Unity's new component system comes out, because it has a way that's makes it really easy to get these variables instead of having to write my own system, which is pretty nice. And what's it not working? Oh, yeah. Put the subscription too early. Okay, then we'll just dispose of our subscription here. Okay, so if we're in the map generation phase, then we'd return game phase dot value equals, oh, I need to do it that way. Cast from enumeration to integer. Play and team building. I think that's really all Lua will need to know. Alright, so now I guess I should go and set this variable. For everything. Okay, so let's create lobby controller. Okay, so claim variable. Okay, this is going to be kind of annoying to do actually, because I have to do it on the start. Okay, actually, Okay, let's not do it for everything. It's because it's going to add a lot of clutter in these temporary classes. So I'll write a note here. I guess under code cleanup. Game phase is only set for map gen, team build, and play. Obviously we'll need to go fix that. Okay, so here, I guess I'll just set it in the flow manager. When does it start? Okay, yeah, so phase 0, then this is when it starts up, I think. Guess we'd want to have variable. This is a little backwards because I think that the flow manager should actually wait until this variable is set before it runs, but this will work. So global phase. And global. Okay, I don't actually have a component for this. Okay, this should be claim actually. Okay, and then when we get to this section, we'll just say global phase dot value equals integer game phase map generation. Okay, and I can do the same type of thing. Actually, I won't do it in the team building for now, because team building doesn't have this, I don't think. Yeah, and it doesn't actually call any Lua scripts right now, so no reason to trouble with that. Oh, you're not doing anything, Ice Boy? Oh, you're dancing with your avatar? It's okay. It's not... I don't actually see it on my coding monitor, so it doesn't distract me at all. Okay, this is what I was looking for. And we can just copy some of this code from the map generation flow. I kind of feel a little dirty doing this because I know it's not very optimal and I gotta be changing it very soon, but the Unity version can't come out soon enough. Okay, so let's switch to play. I've thought about even like using another entity component system, but they're just a little bit different than Unity's, so again it just feels like a waste of time to try and convert if I'm just gonna use Unity's system later. Oh yeah, so it's going to complain that this isn't set up, so I'll just return null for now. I just want to make sure that what I've done doesn't cause any problems. Okay, it's compiling. So hopefully we'll get back through the game without any errors. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so now I have the ability to have scripts behave differently if they're in map generation or not, which is useful. I don't know if we'll actually need it for this map doodads, but it'll be useful in the future. Because I can disable certain things when the board hasn't been instantiated yet. Alright, so what I need to do here is in the Lua object registry. Here it is. I just need to have another list of map doodads. Oh yeah, then I also need to have the map doodads class. I guess I'll just call this doodad utilities. This needs the game link. Okay, so public map doodad get doodad. I got this map object, but it's slightly different. Yeah, I forgot about that because a doodad actually just it's kind of a reference to the map object, but a map object is shared between many different classes, and this is what allows it to do animations and stuff, so this is still okay. I just forgot about that for a second. Okay, yeah, so if the ID is less than 0, then we'll want to return null. Otherwise, I'll do something very similar to this. Okay, so what this does in general is this tries to get okay, I don't know what this error is about. Oh, I don't have one that passes the data index. It's kind of important. Okay, yeah, so it tries to get a map2.add class at the specific index in this list. If it exists, then it just returns it. If it doesn't exist, then it will create a new one and set it into the list at that position. And safe get and safe set, just don't throw errors if the list is too small. It just expands the list to fit. So just kind of some helpful things. What's this problem? Oh, yeah, so I just need to make these public. Okay, another thing I need to, while I'm thinking about it, add this object into the global namespace. Or the global Lua namespace, I should say. Okay, so map doodads. Object registry, doodad utilities. Okay, so yeah, I still need to figure out how this is actually used. I guess in general I'd get that. Okay, so I need to create a new one here actually. So I still need to do some more work. Okay, for now I think these will only be created through Lua, so I'm not gonna have like a helper function to do this just yet. Although I could see later on that we might want to have one. Doodad equals new. And let's call this G doodad to stand for game doodad, as opposed to Lua. And we need to add this into the list in the game data. Oh, it's not in the database, it's actually in the battle. I forgot, because, yeah, doodads. Yeah, the battle is like the current state, and the database is stuff provided by mods, so sometimes I get those mixed up. Okay, and then the index, or let's just call it the data index to be consistent, is link battle doodads count -1, because that's where we just inserted that. Alright, so I just need to set data into here. I've got to create its map object to go with it. And that could actually be a little... That could be shared over many objects. Or many places in logic, but it's not really that complicated, I don't think. Let me see, in the team building... It's the only other place where I create a map object right now. And all I do is just set some values and then add the model. Yeah, so it's not really that difficult. So I think I'll just leave it, especially because, again, in the new system, it won't really be very difficult to add these objects, because we'd basically just create a new entity and set a bunch of data on it. And that's kind of what we're doing here, so it's fine. Why is it not like that? Oh yeah, because it thinks this is the Lua interface version, so I need to add data at the beginning. Okay, and so the owner is this data index. Okay, so do I need to do anything else here? So I gotta get the model ID. And then these are set later, so it's not a big deal. Parent block is set now though. Okay, so parent block. Okay, so this is one thing that would be different during the map generation. And not. How do I want to do this? Okay, so if link script in a map generation phase. Actually, this isn't like quite true because really I just want to see, because there's another script that runs. I really just want to see if the board has been generated yet. So, I mean, I'll leave these here because I already set them up. Is board generated? I guess I could figure that out myself without having to create a helper function here. Okay, well maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Isn't it? I'm trying to figure out if another script is called... When do I call the post-loading script? Is it when the map's been generated, or is it before that? Oh, this is spelled wrong. Okay, it's spelled correctly there, just the name of it wasn't. Okay, yeah, the load script. Okay, so I forgot I did this during loading. So I actually need to have like an in-loading phase. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious, but... Okay, so maybe I'll just have it so this map generation and loading both happen before the board has been set. Okay, so this implies board has not been generated. So, for example, if I ever run a script in the map generation phase, but after the board has been generated, then I need to have some other flag for that. Yeah, I think I might be thinking a bit too far in the future. I'm a little over, but I want to keep going since I missed so much at the beginning of the stream due to the crashes. Okay, so if we're in the map generation phase, then I need to set the parent block this way. So be position, X position, to board index, oops. And then I need to get the map generation. Or board generation, I keep on calling it wrong. Link registry. I need to know the column size and the row size. Okay, and the thing about this now is we've tied something to this specific column and row size. So if I resize the map, this would become invalid, so I need to kind of lock this column and row size. So let's make a new function here. Lock size. And this is not... Well, I mean, I guess Lua could call it. I don't know why they'd want to, but... Private bool size lock. Only problem now is that if I call clear, I need to also clear the map doodads, but it's not associated with this board generation. Okay, so I guess Lua just can't clear the map now. Which I don't really know why I would want to, because it generates stuff and then clear it. Okay, so size lock is true, and I'll set this to false here. And now for get block, just whenever we get a block, I'll just set size lock to true. And now here I can just okay, well that's fine. Once blocks or objects have been placed, okay, so that's fine. Okay, and if we're not in the map generation phase, then this becomes much simpler. It's just the hex position to board index, and we can just pass the board like normal. Link, registry. Oh, no, that's not right. Link, battle board. There we go. Okay, so the rest of what I need to do is the spawn position and the spawn rotation. But I guess I don't have to deal with that now. And the map doodad class down here will need to be able to set the model name. Then I'll need to get the map object. Okay, let's just... I'll just return null so it won't complain to me. I'll need to set block position. Oh no, it's board position. Parent block position. I guess we could return the actual block, but we don't know that yet. During map generation, that would return an error or throw an error. What else? The spawn position would be spawn position. I guess we could even just call this the normal position, but then yeah, we could just call this a normal position, but at certain times this would get out of sync because we would have to actually query the object in Unity to find its current position. But we'll deal with that. And then, I don't know how we'll do rotation, so rotation. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Oh yeah, and I don't actually return the object here. So link, registry, get doodad, data index. Okay, and this is actually a position offset. Alright. Well, I've ran about 15 minutes over, so hopefully I made up some of the time I lost earlier. But yeah, this has kind of been a bit of a train wreck of a stream, but I hope it was still enjoyable to some. We did get some work done, so I mean, not a complete waste, but... So I'll be back Monday by noon Eastern for sure. I keep on saying I'd like to do other streams, but I've just been haven't had a chance lately. But now that I'm starting to feel better, maybe I can do some this weekend or this afternoon. We'll see. But feel free to follow me here on Twitch or on Twitter, and you'll be notified when I go live. I also have a YouTube channel where I post all previous streams if you'd like to catch up, and a Discord channel or a Discord server if you'd like to chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you there. Let's see if the game actually runs for the outro. But yeah, I think that's it for me for today, and I'll gonna get some lunch, and hope you all have a great day. Oh, thanks, Iceboy. That's nice of you to say. I don't know. I just the tech issues is quite annoying, but what can you do? But anyway, I'll leave the stream up a bit so you guys can play with your avatars, and I'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.